The Bermuda Triangle, a roughly triangular area bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has earned a reputation as a maritime graveyard, where ships and aircraft seem to vanish without a trace. The birth of this mysterious zone as a concept can be traced back to the 1950s, when the Miami Herald first published a series of articles detailing strange disappearances off the coast of Florida and around Bermuda. The report meticulously described how, in just 5 years, 1 ship and 9 aircraft, along with 135 crew members and passengers, had vanished without a trace in this perplexing region. From that point on, people began to closely monitor the mysterious events that continued to unfold in these waters. Among the myriad of bewildering incidents associated with the Bermuda Triangle, the disappearance of the Mary Celeste stands out as particularly intriguing. On November 5, 1872, this merchant ship carrying a crew of 10 set sail from Staten Island, New York, bound for Genoa, Italy. The vessel was loaded with industrial alcohol, and Captain Benjamin Briggs was accompanied by his wife and their 2-year-old daughter, along with 7 other crew members. Just a month later, on December 4th, another ship named Dei Gratia encountered the Mary Celeste adrift at sea. The captain of the Dei Gratia noticed something peculiar about the way the Mary Celeste was sailing. Knowing the captain of the Mary Celeste personally, he decided to investigate further. When the crew of the Dei Gratia boarded the Mary Celeste, they were stunned to find the ship completely deserted. Even more baffling was the fact that the cargo remained intact, ruling out the possibility of piracy. So, what could have possibly transpired to make an entire crew vanish into thin air? The Mary Celeste's mysterious disappearance continues to perplex investigators to this day. The ship's hull was undamaged, showing no signs of violence or struggle. The food supplies on board were plentiful, sufficient to sustain the crew of 10 for another 6 months. Even more puzzling was the fact that all the crew's personal belongings remained untouched, with only the lifeboat missing. The captain's log, whose final entry was dated November 25th, 10 days before the ship was found abandoned, contained no indication of any unusual occurrences. It's as if these 10 souls simply vanished into thin air, leaving behind a ghost ship to drift aimlessly on the vast ocean. In 1881, another mysterious incident sent shockwaves through the maritime community. Captain Baker of the Ellen Austin spotted a peculiar sailing vessel north of Bermuda. This ship was not only nameless, but appeared to be drifting aimlessly without a crew. In an era rife with piracy, approaching an unidentified vessel was an extremely risky endeavor. However, after several days of observation, Captain Baker made the bold decision to investigate. When Baker and his crew boarded the mysterious vessel, they were astounded by what they found. Everything on the ship was in perfect order, with the cargo safely stored in the hold, yet there wasn't a single soul to be found. The eerie similarity to the Mary Celeste incident was not lost on the seasoned sailors. Faced with this ghost ship, Baker made a daring decision. He would tow the vessel back to New York. However, fate seemed to have other plans. Just as they had secured the 2 ships together with ropes, a massive storm suddenly erupted, violently separating the Ellen Austin from its nameless companion. For days, they battled against the raging winds and towering waves. When the tempest finally subsided, the mysterious ship unexpectedly reappeared on the horizon. This time, when Baker boarded the vessel, he could scarcely believe his eyes. The ship showed no signs of having weathered the fierce storm. Instead, it appeared exactly as it had days before, as if time had stood still aboard this enigmatic craft. Despite the chilling discovery, Baker resolved to make another attempt at towing it back to New York. Yet once again, fate intervened with cruel irony. As they embarked on their second attempt to tow the mysterious vessel, another violent storm erupted at sea. History seemed to repeat itself, as the 2 ships were once more forcibly separated. This time, Captain Baker never saw the ghost ship again. It vanished into the vast expanse of the ocean, becoming yet another unsolved mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. However, the Bermuda Triangle's bizarre occurrences are not limited to merchant vessels. In March 1918, an incident that would shock the U.S. Navy unfolded in this mysterious region. The USS Cyclops, a massive collier ship of the U.S. Navy, set sail from Brazil bound for Baltimore with 309 crew members on board. As this colossal vessel entered the Bermuda Triangle, all seemed normal. The weather was clear, the sea calm, and the crew maintained routine communication with their base, reporting that everything was in order. Yet on this seemingly ordinary day, the USS Cyclops suddenly vanished without sending out any distress signals. The abrupt disappearance of the USS Cyclops triggered an unprecedented large-scale search and rescue operation. When the base confirmed loss of contact with the Cyclops, hundreds of ships in the surrounding waters attempted to establish radio contact. However, the other end of the radio remained ominously silent, as if this massive ship carrying 309 lives had been erased by some mysterious force. The U.S. military immediately dispatched a fleet of aircraft and search vessels to conduct a thorough sweep of the vast oceanic expanse. Astonishingly, the search teams not only failed to locate the USS Cyclops, but couldn't even find a single piece of wreckage. This enormous naval vessel, along with its 309 crew members, had mysteriously vanished in broad daylight on a busy shipping lane. To this day, this incident is considered the most devastating unexplained disappearance in U.S. naval history. December 5, 1945, dawned as a seemingly ordinary clear day. On this day, Flight 19 of the U.S. Navy took off from the Fort Lauderdale Naval Air Station in Florida for a routine training flight. This squadron, led by the experienced Commander Charles Taylor, consisted of 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers with a total of 14 crew members. Commander Taylor was a seasoned pilot with 2,500 hours of flight experience and was well acquainted with the area. According to the flight plan, the squadron was to fly east towards the Bahamas, then north for 73 miles, before returning to the Naval Air Station in Florida. Just an hour after takeoff at 3:30 p.m., Taylor suddenly radioed the control tower, reporting that both his compasses had malfunctioned simultaneously. He stated that he believed they were near the Florida Keys, but couldn't determine their exact position. The tower immediately attempted various methods to pinpoint the squadron's location, but all efforts proved futile. Merely 15 minutes later, Taylor radioed the tower again, this time his voice filled with anxiety and confusion. He said, "We can't find west, everything is wrong. We can't be sure of any direction. Everything looks strange." Taylor's words sent chills down the spines of those who heard them. For an experienced pilot to suddenly lose all sense of direction in an area he was familiar with was highly unusual. Even more perplexing was the simultaneous malfunction of both compasses. Such an occurrence is almost unheard of in modern aviation history. At 5:50 p.m., base personnel used radio signals to deduce that Flight 19 should be east of New Smyrna Beach. However, at this critical moment, the radio signals suddenly became extremely weak and the base lost all contact with the squadron. Faced with this alarming situation, the base took immediate action. At 7:27 p.m., they dispatched a PBM-5 aircraft to search for the missing Flight 19. After making one routine report, this search plane also suddenly lost contact, disappearing without sending any distress signals. Although ships reported seeing something explode in the sky that night, subsequent search operations found no wreckage of any crashed planes in the reported explosion area. It's worth noting that compass malfunctions seem to be a recurring phenomenon in the Bermuda Triangle region. As far back as 1492, the famous explorer Christopher Columbus recorded in his ship's log that his compass had temporarily malfunctioned. While passing through this area, following the disappearance of Flight 19, the U.S. military launched a massive search and rescue operation. Over the next week, the military deployed hundreds of aircraft and dozens of ships, covering an astonishing search area of 250,000 square miles. However, incredibly, the search teams not only failed to find the 6 aircraft, but couldn't even locate a single piece of wreckage. Some experts believe that the squadron disappeared because Taylor misjudged their position. They speculate that the squadron was actually northeast of Florida, not south in the Florida Keys as Taylor believed. However, this explanation still leaves many questions unanswered. Firstly, Taylor was not a novice pilot, and this was not his first flight mission in this area. How could such an experienced pilot make such a severe error in judgment? Secondly, even if Taylor had indeed misjudged their position, why didn't the search teams find any aircraft wreckage in the potential crash sites? It's important to note that the probability of 6 aircraft simultaneously crashing into the sea without leaving any debris is extremely low. In fact, over the years, countless search teams have scoured the possible locations for the famous Flight 19. Although they have discovered many aircraft wrecks on the seabed, none of them belong to Flight 19. Some believe that the seabed of the Bermuda Triangle might conceal a secret base for extraterrestrial beings. They speculate that these mysteriously disappearing aircraft and ships might have been captured by aliens and taken to places beyond our detection capabilities. Another popular theory is the idea of a gateway to parallel universes. Proponents of this theory suggest that the Bermuda Triangle might be a portal to parallel universes or other dimensions. They speculate that these missing aircraft and ships might have accidentally entered these portals, arriving in another world or another time. In 2014, a scientific discovery once again drew attention to this area. Scientists discovered a very mysterious sound at the bottom of the sea near Bermuda. Initially, researchers thought it might just be the sound of whales. However, when they delved deeper into their research, they found that the frequency of this sound was unusually peculiar. This mysterious sound could instantaneously increase its frequency from 38 Hz to 8,000 Hz. To put this in perspective, the sounds typically produced by whales range only from 10 to 39 Hz. This discovery convinced scientists that this was definitely not an ordinary whale sound. Even more unsettling was the fact that experts could not determine the source of this sound. It seemed to come from some unknown place at the bottom of the sea, as if some mysterious force was whispering. For those who firmly believe in the mysterious powers of the Bermuda Triangle, the discovery of this sound is undoubtedly powerful evidence. It seems to confirm their long-held suspicions. Deep in these waters, there indeed exists some force or phenomenon that we cannot understand. Those mysteriously disappearing aircraft and ships, those inexplicable phenomena, and the recently discovered mysterious sound all remind us that there are still many things in this world that we cannot comprehend.